Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him.
Definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
Katt Williams been having a problem with Kevin Hart for a long time now, mostly surrounding the fact that he believes that Kevin sold his soul to be successful.
Let's not talk about Kevin Hart no more, for y'all get me riled up when I go over somewhere and go to jail for knocking the soul out of his plane.
In the sense that he bypassed his morals to make money. And Kevin fired back saying Katt's always blaming Hollywood for his personal issues. What exactly did Katt say about Kevin, about him selling his soul, quote unquote? Let's break it down.
Like Kevin been pretending like he been world touring. That been world touring, that everywhere but here.
Kevin Hart often brags about being the hardest working comedian out there. Even his Twitter bio reads, "My name is Kevin Hart and I work hard." That pretty much sums me up. Everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to do the work. But there's a lot of people who feel Kevin's success is not only to hard work. And one of these people is Katt Williams, who previously hinted that Kevin sold his soul to the people who run the entertainment industry. To give you some context, there's a long-standing rumor that black entertainers are pressured to wear a dress on screen before they're able to reach other levels of success. Multiple comedians have talked about this, not just Katt Williams, but Dave Chappelle too. During an interview with Oprah in 2006, Dave talked about why he turned down a $50 million deal with Comedy Central. And he said he did it because he knew that kind of money comes with certain conditions.
I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal. And 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
Dave felt like he was being pushed to create sketches that made people laugh at him, not with him. And he felt like they were asking him to humiliate himself for a check. But that's not all. He also recalled being asked to wear a dress for a movie with Martin Lawrence.
Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here.
Even after Dave said he felt the dress was unnecessary for the scene, producers kept pressuring him to try to get him to wear the dress and claimed that all the greats did it.
Man, the writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on and, what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in.
According to Dave, the producers had 2 versions of the scene ready, and they only left him alone when they realized he wouldn't budge.
Now the producers come on, David would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress, I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine, think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene, damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
Yeah, you see, it's not really about the dress itself. It's about the fact that producers are going to see how much you're willing to fold, how much of what you're told you're willing to do. So you're probably asking, what does this have to do with Kevin Hart? Well, back in 2012, Kevin Hart was asked about the idea that black entertainers would eventually be pressured into wearing a dress on screen. Kevin laughed it off initially, not saying that he wouldn't do it, but saying that he wouldn't step across any of his own personal boundaries.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, you know, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts and Is there something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so you know, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on the talk show this morning.
You look good doing it,
Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, you know, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
But just a year later, Kevin will go on an SNL skit wearing a dress, and fans accused him of being a sellout.
The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Kavenshané Wallace, the first African American, the first female, and first child pope.
And it's not like Kevin was not successful before that, but filling out stadiums and getting lead roles in big budget films only came after that. Of course, all of this could be just a big coincidence, and many people believe that the whole dress thing is just a conspiracy theory. However, if you ask Katt Williams, all conspiracies come from somewhere.
There aren't that many conspiracy theories anymore, because we found out that all conspiracy theories, there's a nugget of truth in there. It came from somewhere. That's where it became a theory. And then it progressed to the point where it became a conspiracy theory because there was something there.
And when Katt was asked to comment on Kevin's SNL skit, he said, it's bigger than him. It's not up to him. It was just his turn.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay.
And see, Katt didn't even bash him. He understands that to be in the game, you got to play ball. And comedians like him and Dave Chappelle aren't willing to play ball with the higher ups, so they'll never reach that level of success.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
Yeah.
But now it's not necessary for us to store up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. I'm still not going to join.
While Kevin's profile continued to rise, Katt was shunned from the industry because of his continuous run-ins with the law. And the tabloids did their best to paint him as crazy. And then in 2018, Katt's feud with Kevin reignited again. Katt made some comments about Tiffany Haddish seemingly downplaying her success at the time.
She been doing comedy since she was 16. You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet. She ain't done a special. She has not proven the ability to tell jokes back to back for an hour to nobody. And they already ready to down Monique and up somebody who has showed them Girls Trip. Did you think she wrote Girls Trip, goofball?
Right.
Or do you think that was already a script and they handed it to her?
Katt also suggested that a number of black female comedians were skipped over for those roles and opportunities because they didn't play along and cater to white audiences.
She passed 46 female black comedians that I know personally that I put on tour who have a hard time getting a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A after they headline 7 shows at a club for $2,500 a week.
But people like real, and that's why they like her.
Is that what they like?
They love realness.
Because everybody's real then, so don't trip.
No, they like
wherever
Tiffany
you
Haddish
at under the sound of my voice.
real.
Do you have a real co-worker?
Right.
Do you have a ratchet friend? Do you have a sister? Do you have a cousin? Do you have a nephew? Do you have a niece? Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt.
Kevin would not like those comments, going on the Breakfast Club to talk about how Katt always blames the industry for his own mishappenings.
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot. You didn't show up to work. You f***ed off promo shoots. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped f***ing with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy.
And then rumors popped up about Katt and Kevin doing a versus battle with their comedy. Katt said it'll probably be like cheating.
Comedically beefing is my lane. It's almost cheating for me. I have over 10 specials, so I don't have to pick but 2 jokes from each special, and I've already deaded anybody whose last name ain't Pryor.
Katt's been adamant that he's never tried anything outside of weed, going on Instagram Live to respond to those rumors.
There and off making 85 milli. I was over here not making 85 milli, but it's all good. I don't mind $1 million a month and keeping my soul.
Katt then again implied that Kevin would do anything for a check, saying the biggest difference between the two is that only one of them will be willing to sell their soul for more money.
And as long as Richard Pryor was there to be the king of comedy and a crackhead, they gonna continue to say maybe I am. But again, I urge you, if there's a drug you can do that'll get you Katt Williams level, bitch, you should OD on it tonight. Your teeth white. Maybe make your long and hard. Maybe make your hair magnificent. Maybe there's some type of crack you can smoke that'll make you work so much. Catch a nap. But probably not, though.
Kevin has since stopped replying to Katt in public, but when the verses were brought up to Katt, he replied without bashing him. But he did say that the narrative that Kevin was pushing on The Breakfast Club was false. He didn't blame Hollywood, saying that if he didn't get mainstream success like Kevin, it's because he didn't want to sell out to do that.
My brilliance is the stupidity to stay in that same conversation and to not use any filters. Like it had to be a choice 20 years ago that I'm not gonna wear makeup or get Botox, even though I know them things will make me look better, but I don't really want to look better. What I want is, I want the Katt Williams that you see in the movie. I want that to be the same dude you see at the gas station.
According to Katt, he never even claimed that he was blackballed. He just said you can either stand by your principles and not make it as far as you think you're supposed to, or stand on your own 2 feet and accept what comes with that.
I heard a comedian say, yeah, but you see, Katt Williams ain't selling soap or diapers or none of that, because they think like I've been blackballed and I'm not. I don't do sponsorships or endorsements because I'm blackballed. But the truth is, in 20 years, I never been on a commercial audition in my life. Like, I never let my tour get sponsored when I was broke or now. Like, I don't take free clothes. Like, I dress myself. Like, I don't have a stylist. Like, my point is, I can't win over there because I don't play. I don't participate. Like, you can't buy me, not because I'm not for sale. You can't buy me because I'm not in the store.
Now, as for fans, it seems like most of them are taking Katt's side in this. But of course, Kevin is not without his own supporters. They're accusing Katt of being bitter, with one fan saying the only reason why Kevin Hart came for Katt the way he did is because he knows that he did a lot of things to get to the top. He didn't just do it with, quote, hard work alone. While another person fired back saying Kevin is right. Katt ruined his career with drugs in jail. He's playing the victim when he ruined himself, even though Katt said he didn't do any drugs. But once that narrative is out there, man, it's hard to shake it. So there you have it. Comment below who you think would win in that comedy versus. And do you think Kevin really sold his soul for fame? Let me know. And don't miss out on the next video.